I'm just, let's talk about Julian Assange real quick, Kevin. And I'm also interested if you could give maybe a quick update on the show for the past like year or so. I've basically used your articles and Twitter threads to break down what's happening in the trial, but I do know that we have an appeal coming up, I think towards the end of October. And so, just what's going on and what should we be looking in the news for in the coming weeks and months ahead?
Yeah, I'll give you a good update, and then we can get to Daniel Hale before we wrap up here. But Julian Assange has an appeal hearing coming up in the last week of October. I think it's like 26th, 27th of October. And it'll be a couple days where the United States government gets to appeal the ruling from the district court and essentially argue several things, but primarily that the district judge did not follow the law correctly when she ruled in the extradition case, and that they'll also be arguing things like they don't believe Julian Assange is at risk of suicide, or that he would be treated totally and completely humanely if he was put in a U.S. prison, something that we know based on all of the evidence that we have and other lawsuits that we've seen brought against the Bureau of Prisons is something without basis. But they're going to try to defend the United States' mass incarceration system before this 3-judge panel called the High Court of Justice. And we'll see. They also get to attack a neuropsychiatrist who's well respected, did most of the work as a doctor treating Julian Assange and assessing his condition. And they're going to try to discredit him because he did not disclose that Julian Assange had a relationship with his partner, Stella Morris, who is also doing work for the Julian Assange legal team. And then, of course, as you know, they had children in the Ecuador embassy together, and those were not public at the time or from the beginning of this case, and they were not known to the judge or the prosecutors until, I believe, March or April of 2020. So they're going to use that to try and impeach and discredit this doctor, because one of the things he said that was really crucial to saving Julian's life is that he has these impulses to commit suicide, which he's unable to control because of his mental health disorder. So this is an important couple of days. Julian Assange's team definitely want to win, but if they lose, it's not the worst thing, because no matter what, this is going to go before the UK Supreme Court, where that will be the ultimate decision.
Okay, so because it seemed like the last one, the last appeal didn't necessarily go in his favor, and the U.S. did get, or I guess the UK got more room to prosecute him on.
Well, it was a pretrial. It was a pretrial hearing, so we haven't had the formal appeal hearing yet. Okay. And essentially, what they were able to do is just say they should be able to argue whatever they want, and the judges are going to consider it. They were trying to limit the types of arguments they could make, and in the end, they said, well, we'll just let you argue whatever, and we'll make our decision based on the law. And so we'll see if that helps the United States. I'm not sure if it favors or doesn't favor Julian Assange. Like a lot of people looked at that outcome and they said, well, it could be bad for Julian Assange. Or it could be the UK High Court of Justice just knows the US is going to throw their weight around no matter what, and they want to just let them do whatever they please. And then they'll just tell them with the decision, like Judge Vanessa Barretzer did, that they're not going to allow the extradition.
Yeah, and so a lot of it, I guess, at this point hinges on Julian Assange's autism diagnosis, because there is like precedent cases in the UK of them denying extradition based on the autism diagnosis.
With mental health, yeah. So like Lori Love and there was Gary McKinnon, both of them were actually accused of hacking. Julian Assange did not engage in hacking, but these were people who were alleged to have committed hacking offenses and were never brought to the United States because there was evidence that if they were incarcerated, they would not survive.
All right,